Looking for these better days.
It is Tuesday, July 14th. I'm Scott Seidenberg. Here's what you need to know to make today a better day. Jordan Walker, your home run derby champion, as he gets past Kyle Schwarber in Philadelphia last night. Plus, the World Cup semifinals begin today. We will have a breakdown of that. Brad Thomas will join me on this episode of Better Day, presented by FanDuel. But we start with the home run derby last night, which I love the new format. And congratulations to all those who tailed us with the over 74.5 home runs in the first round. It was clear the sportsbooks didn't really know how to price this thing with the new format. And for those that tuned in yesterday, not understanding or knowing the new format, I thought that you were pleasantly surprised. That was an entertaining home run derby last night. I like the outs format. I wish it was the normal 10 outs like we used to have, but to have 20 swings and no bracket to start until we got to the second round, I thought was a really good way to do the home run derby. And part of me was concerned, because of the no time limit, that it was going to drag out and it was going to be a lengthy derby and feel boring at times. And while we can be critical if we want about the Netflix broadcast, I didn't think that it was a long drawn out night. I thought that it moved pretty well. And when it was all said and done, Kyle Schwarber had the hometown crowd excited. And when he gets to the final against Jordan Walker, I thought for sure Schwarber was going to do it. But then Jordan Walker just delivered. And the moment was incredible. And part of the things that I loved last night about the Derby was, first off, when Kyle Schwarber in the second round, right, before he even gets to the final, everyone in Philly is obviously rooting for Schwarber once Bryce Harper got eliminated in the first round. And then every time the opponent would not hit a home run, the crowd would cheer, and the crowd was booing and getting on Jordan Walker last night. But then he had 6 consecutive home runs to win the home run derby, including homering with the magenta ball, the extra ball at the end, because if you homer on your last home run, you can still get more swings. And it was crazy because up until the finals, when Kyle Schwarber homered on his final ball, nobody had done that yet. Nobody had homered on the final ball, and they were speculating as to why on the broadcast. And I agreed with, I forgot who it was who made the point, but I agreed with the statement where the discoloration, the changing of the color actually hurt the hitters when it came to the extra ball, because here you are tracking a regular baseball for your 20 swings and then 15 swings in the next round, but then all of a sudden you have to change your eye for a colored ball, and maybe you don't pick up the seams as well or you don't time it as well, and there's a reason why nobody hit it until the players that had a third opportunity to hit the extra ball, and they did so in that championship round. I thought the crowd was incredible the entire night, and congratulations to anybody who bet Jordan Walker, who was one of the long shots in the field to win this event. I thought for sure that we would see, Junior Caminero and even Bryce Harper get to the final. Caminero did really well in the first round, but then he did not do well in the second round, and Bryce Harper just maybe a little too tense, didn't really seem comfortable at the plate, and he doesn't make it out of the first round. But Kyle Schwarber put on a show, and Jordan Walker just got the best of him when it was all said and done. Tonight, it is the All-Star Game, where I thought it was really cool that John Schneider of the American League, the Blue Jays manager who's managing the National League, announced that Mike Trout is going to be the leadoff hitter for the American League. And obviously they are the visiting team, so he's the first batter that is going to be called up. And for those of you who don't know, Mike Trout is from South Jersey. He is pretty much a Philly guy. And there's been trade rumors for years now about Mike Trout going to the Phillies. There's been, all the free agency news, Mike Trout, Phillies, all that stuff. It's just going to be an incredible moment for Mike Trout when he is announced to lead off the game and that crowd gives him a massive ovation, because the Phillies crowd, the Philadelphia baseball fans, they love Mike Trout. They want Mike Trout. And so for a kid who, grew up in South Jersey, not far outside of Philadelphia. It's going to be an incredible moment for him leading off the game for the American League. Christopher Sanchez of the Phillies will start for the National League, and Dylan Cease of the Blue Jays will start for the American League. Your current odds up on FanDuel for tonight's All-Star game. It is your home National League team as a minus 136 favorite. The American League plus 116, total 7.5, minus 122. It's a hitter's ballpark, but we've also had unders in hitter's ballparks before. I think I want to bet the over. I think over 7.5 is going to be the play for me. Don't know if I'll pull the trigger on it, but that is my strong lean right now. The over is juiced up on FanDuel at minus 122. So there you have it there for the All-Star game. All right, the World Cup semifinal begins today with France taking on Spain. The top 4 teams in the world are the 4 teams remaining here at the World Cup. Joining us to break down the first of 2 semifinals, we'll also talk about some futures. He is Brad Thomas. The one thing I wanted to ask you first, before we get into any of your bets, predictions, we could talk about the golden boot, golden ball, all that stuff. But do you agree with the sentiment out there that today's semifinal match is the true championship of the World Cup between France and Spain?
I do. I do believe that these are easily, by margin, the 2 best teams in the world. I saw someone say this, and, it was kind of weird that they had to say it or that people were, like, shocked by it.
Mm-hmm.
Because it felt like when they posted it on X, it was the most obvious thing in the world. They said, "The margin between France and Spain is much closer than the margin between England and Argentina."
Hmm.
And I was like, well, duh. It's teams 1 and 2, in my opinion. Team 1A and Team 1B. The winner of this, I believe, if they stay healthy, no one gets sent off, no suspensions, will go on to win the World Cup.
Well, they are the favorites right now. If we look up on FanDuel, France plus 140. Actually, England has surpassed Spain, believe it or not. England plus 310, Spain plus 320. And probably the only reason there's the 10-cent difference is because Spain has to take on France. And then you
Yep.
have Argentina plus 430. Here's your odds on FanDuel to qualify for today's semifinal. France minus 150 and Spain plus 128. Am I too much of a sucker for saying that minus 150 is like a gift on France? Like, I want to load up on France in this match today.
Yeah, I took France to qualify. I took them draw no bet too, around minus 140. God, what was that? Right when lines came out.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I got a message from my boss and he was like, "Hey, can you do a write up?" And I was like, on it. And I'm glad he did because I got really good price at that time. That line's like all the way down to minus 165. I think this is a really good game for France because Spain's attack has left a lot to be desired. Yes, their defending has been fantastic, but this is the best French team that I believe we have ever seen. And I love when Mbappe said this. He said, when someone asked him, "Is this the best French team ever?" He didn't. He said no. He said, "I think it's the best French team, the French team with the most potential."
Hmm.
He said, "You only become the best by winning." And I think they'll get the job done. There's a sentiment around world football that the French Federation and all this was fed up with Didier Deschamps, and that's just not true. Like a lot of people love Didier Deschamps in this organization, this nation, and I think they really do want to send him off in his last World Cup with another World Cup title, right? Like not many managers have the privilege of winning one World Cup.
Mm-hmm.
He has the possibility to win 2, and I believe that's going to mean so much to this French team.
They have been the best team in the world. They're loaded with players. We've talked about it before. They might have in this game 4 of the top 5 players, right? So we're not going to argue the talent that they have. The question is, though, with a quality of an opponent like Spain, which is unlike anybody that they've seen so far in this tournament, is there a reason for any type of hesitation? Like, what does Spain have to do in order to pull this upset, if you would even consider it, which I think we do, a big upset?
I think I think you can make a really good case for Spain to get something out of this game. And what I mean by that is a draw at the very least, because I think the way the game is going to set up tactically, we haven't seen this French team all tournament concede possession
Mhm.
in long bouts, right? They've been the leaders of possession. They've played on the front foot. Even when they played against Morocco, Morocco went down and France did not let them have their long spells of possession. Well, it's going to be the inverse because the Spanish team is going to dominate the possession. They're going to try to do their tiki taka football, death by a thousand cuts. Can the French stay patient? Can the French wait for their opportunities to go and break? And can they be clinical in their finishing? If they can't, if they're not patient, if they're turning the ball over when they get their opportunities, Spain will capitalize. I think that's Spain's recipe. Spain's recipe is just play your game and defend well.
Yeah. They had Spain's only conceded 1 goal in this entire tournament, and that was in the round of 16, the quarterfinal, excuse me, no, quarterfinal match that they just had against Belgium.
Yep.
Um, I kind of agree with you. Like Spain's going to control possession, going to sit back. I like France to advance. That's my probably best bet of this game. But I don't hate putting money on the plus 210 on the regulation draw, thinking that this
Yeah.
goes to extra time because, or maybe it's an under in the 90 minutes in regulation because I can easily see 0-0 going into extra time and then France getting 1 or even 2 in the extra portion before we get the penalties. And I don't think we get the penalties. I think France is the stronger team. But I do think, especially, oh my goodness, could you imagine if Spain gets a goal and it's
Yep.
1-0 Spain? They will not try and score the rest of the game.
Yep.
Like it'll be a 1-1 at the most going into extra time.
I think the funniest thing, and we get guilty of doing this, is we've seen the Nations League games be absolute chaotic
Yeah.
matches, and we use those as like our basis of what's going to happen next. I think a lot of people were guilty of that when Portugal and Spain played. They were like, "Oh, this is an overs game. Did you not just see them play?" And that was like one of the worst watches in terms of just pure football enjoyment ever. I think we could get stuck in that. I think, I'm a sicko for these kind of bets. I like both teams to score, but I think you could even play both teams to score in under 3.5 goals. I
Okay.
think it's one of those situations where it gives you 2-1 either way and 1-1, and you get really good price.
I don't hate that. I don't hate that. So that is our preview here of France versus Spain. Coming up tomorrow, we will have a full preview of Argentina versus England. But before we wrap up this preview here today, Brad, I want to talk about the futures awards market, right, for the Golden Boot. And the Golden Ball. Now, I think the Golden Boot is it's fascinating because Kylian Mbappe is the favorite right now up on FanDuel at minus 140. He and Leo Messi are tied with 8 goals here in the World Cup. Messi is the second favorite at plus 145. Then you have Harry Kane at 12-1, Jude Bellingham at 25-1. Both Kane and Bellingham have 6 goals, so they have some catching up to do. I'm going to make the argument, and I wonder if you agree with me and if you think that my argument holds water. I think Messi is the better bet than Kylian Mbappe for only one reason. If France loses to Spain. If France loses to Spain, I don't think Kylian Mbappe plays in the consolation game. And meanwhile, if England defeats Argentina, I still think we see Leo Messi in the consolation game because it'll be his final World Cup. It'll be kind of ceremonial. He'll want to go out with the record, right? Even though Mbappe will eventually break his record, right? But he like claiming the golden ball would kind of mean something for Messi and the legacy. So even if they lose to England and they're not in the final in Saturday's third place game, I still think Leo Messi plays. Whereas if France somehow loses to Spain, I don't think Mbappe plays in the consolation game. Does that make any sense?
That makes sense. I normally wouldn't touch it at this point. I feel like all the value's already been sucked out. Also, third place games are really boring. They're horrible.
Well,
Like
that's why
these
we need
teams are
Messi in it. We need him to get a hat
it's
trick in that game, you know?
yeah, these teams are just having a nice little kickabout. They don't want to get hurt. They have the season to look forward to. I'm hoping Mbappe scores twice, right? I have the future on France to win an Mbappe Golden Boot parlay,
Yeah.
and I have Mbappe Golden Boot and France to win separate. So my account would look really nice. What I get that future on Mbappe was, let me see the price, 24-1 for
Damn.
France to win and him to be Golden Boot.
Yeah, we love that. We absolutely love that. And we love having you on, Brad. Tomorrow we will get to England versus Argentina World Cup semifinal getting underway today. Don't forget to follow us across social media on Twitter at better_day. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. I'm Scott Seidenberg. Here's hoping you make today and every day a better day.
If you like the show, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe. It really does help the show to grow. Thank you for listening.